thing is lighting. No, man, what I was telling you though, man, it's a mess, man. Look, the beginning of all the pyramids, not everyone that you see up to modern times, but the beginning of all the pyramids that you do see, right, are from an original point in history, and that point dates back probably 300 million years ago. A lot of people don't understand that, but sometime between that point and 3 million years ago is when faith was invoked into our religions, into our way of life. Prior to that, I believe we were all one continent. And then pyramids, they represented us being a true reflection of the one God of all, the Son God of all. You see what I'm saying? Now, Jesus says in the Gospel of Thomas 7, I am the all. Okay? Or 77, I am the all. Okay? So, we know that the name Allah, right, comes from for everlasting peace. Now, I tell everybody Jesus was one positive, right, at 360 degrees from the inside out, absolutely bigger and better than all negativity that could ever destroy him, right? And he didn't die at the crucifixion, right? He lived through it, and 3 days later, he got up, and he went on about his business. I also state that the thief did too. And there's scriptures from a Russian text that backs that up. But the thing is this, right? Way back then, 300 million years ago, right? These pyramids, we were a true reflection of the one God, the Son God of all, okay? Now, Allah, right, is the God of everlasting peace. So Jesus, right, in body and matter, was the absolute good truth of God of forever everlasting peace. He was one positive, right, at 360 degrees, bigger and better as the good truth of God of him than any negativity that could destroy him. And when he come out of that tomb, that was proof and truth of that. He was an example in body and matter of God to the truth of his shape, form, and mass. He was God in body and matter as the truth of it. You see? And that's what it means to be Christ-like. When you cross one positive at 360 degrees, you're a true reflection of the one God of all, the Son God of all. Now, back in the Coburn Bible, they call that God Alwyn. Okay? He is the God of all. Okay? Jesus said, I am the God of all. And that name, right, has to be the expression of Jesus, because in reality, if it's not, it's a faithful God. It's a lie on the good truth of God. And I'll explain that, because God is only one positive at 360 degrees, bigger and better than anything that could ever destroy him. You understand that? And Jesus, they prophesied him to be the incarnate of God, to the good truth of his shape, form, and mass. And in reality, he prophesies what I'm telling you today, that all could be incarnate of him, to the good truth of his shape, form, and mass. Because once you know that Jesus, right, was one positive at 360 degrees, bigger and better than all negativity that could ever destroy him, and he was only that way because whenever he felt any negativity, he crossed back one positive and good, right? To be the truth of God of that, bigger and better than that negativity, right? Then in reality, you know that faith can't exist, that faith is a lie on you, because you know that anything positive, right, can only state you good, right? And anything good, by the physics and laws of all matter, can only get bigger and better to the good truth of the shape, form, and mass expressing it, and one to the here and now of its reality. And as a result, right, you can never die of that, you can never be destroyed for that. You see, that's the embodiment of God to your reality. But if you don't know that, all you have is faith. Now, check this out. I told you that those pyramids, right, were when we were one continent, I believe. And what I believe is the continents divided and the religions went, and as the people established, right, they got away from the true religion and started worshiping over time through generations what was lost, right? Because when it was destroyed, when the earth, when the continents divided, there was really a lot of destruction. So there was remnants of the people left, and some of them stayed with the truth of the religion all the way down to 3 million years ago.
Right.
And then it absolutely stopped, except one way, through the bloodline of Adam. Adam come from a people that the Coburn talks about that were of an enlightened people. You hear me? And they didn't suffer illness. They didn't die. But Eve wasn't. Eve was from another type of people. See? And in reality, her people did die. And in the beginning, Adam, right, went off with Eve. And because of that, he wasn't mature enough to understand that Eve was not the absolute good truth of God of him.
God told me to get your damn clothes on and get the hell out of the fucking yard.
Yeah, he was a snake and a bushwhack on his whole existence because he crossed negative with his faith in Eve, and in reality, it produced us out. But because of him, it marked in existence the reality of what we could be to the modern day of us. And I've explained that in other things because, see, what happened is these gods, as these people become more and more faithful and less truthful, right? What happened is these gods become more and more a perverted perversion of what God should be, a dictation of control more than a dictation of inspiration of the true representation of God. And in reality, a lot of people like to think that the Hindu gods, right, are something special, but I'm going to tell you something. An atom's neutron is always negative, so they might want to rethink that. It's absolutely negative of being absolutely positively good as the truth of an atom, shape, form, and mass. And while I'm on that, Tim, I'd like to state this, right? All atoms, right, only cross and bond one positive, two or more at 360 degrees to make the absolute good truth of God of everybody, of everything. Not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of God you can think of, right? Only Christ-like. You hear me? So they're they're electron God, right? They're proton God and they're neutron God, right? If one of their gods isn't the absolute good truth of God of them, they can only be expressed that way. Right. What does that say about the whole of them? You hear me? They're a lie. But they're only a lie because that's where faith took them, man. And in reality, right, I'm going to show them where truth can take them. You hear me? Their Brahma God, right, represented I want to say it correctly, Brahma, because they got two gods, and it's one has like 3 heads, but the other one, right, is the ultimate atom, okay? It's where all creation of existence comes from. And that atom is only prescribed one way. One positive at 360 degrees, bigger and better than all negativity they destroy. That's where their other gods come from. Is there a progression of that God all the way out? You hear me? In different deities. But know the truth of it. All of existence is only negative and positive to the good truth of God of every shape, form, and mass to the here and now reality. And every religion has it wrong faithfully. They all tie back to one thing. They're faithful religions because they don't know the absolute good truth of God of them, which is this. Only cross one positive at 360 degrees when you feel all negativity until you feel good. Absolutely bigger and better than that negativity. If you do, you can never be destroyed for it. You can never decay. You can never suffer out of existence to one nothing die of it. Negativity is the state all embodied matter of shape, form, and mass decays, disintegrates to absolutely one nothing dust the wind at the beginning again. That's the truth of God of that shit too. You hear me? Yeah. And anybody who states it any other way, they're going straight to hell. Static, twisted, scattered, undefined, embodied matter until they die of it. And that's what they're going to cross back to. Static, twisted, scattered, undefined matter. Nothing dust the wind at the beginning again for it. Anybody want to know any more information? Get at me.